Hello everyone, welcome to the session. In this session, we are going to talk about robots.txt. This is the agenda of the session. So let's discuss each point one by one. What is robots.txt? Robots.txt is a text file that tells search engine crawler which URLs they cannot crawl or which URL they can crawl. Whenever crawler visits particular domain or website for the crawling, it first download the robot.txt and parse it and get the information about the URLs which they cannot crawl. Robots.txt is the first file which is accessed by the crawler when they start crawling the particular domain. How the robots.txt file look like? Let me show you that. Here I have opened one robots.txt of this particular domain. So whenever crawler will crawl this particular domain, first it will open this robot.txt to understand what are the rules or instructions present for the crawler so that they can follow it. The robots.txt contains the group, and each group is a collection of rules. Rules also called directives. Each group starts with user agent directive. So here this is one group, this is another group, this is one more, and here this is one more. So there are 4 groups present in this robots.txt. Let's see first group. It is having 2 directives, user agent and the disallow. Means this rule would be applicable for this user agent called Baidu Spider. So for the Baidu Spider, complete website has been blocked. Means Baidu Spider cannot crawl this website. Another group, this, it contains these rules under user agent. Means these rules would be applicable to this AT crawler. So AT crawler can only access these 2 paths. One more thing is present in the robots.txt, the sitemap. So sitemap is one directive. Here we give the URL of the sitemap. Sitemap URL contains the different URLs which can be accessed by the crawler. So this sitemap is normally used for the faster indexing. We will talk about more on the sitemap in upcoming videos. For now, just understand the basic structure of the robots.txt and what it contains. So it contains the group. Each group will have a rule of disallow, allow, user agent. These are the rules or directives. We are going to talk about more on directives in upcoming slides. Now let's see where robots.txt present in the server. Normally this file present in the root directory of the website. The path of the root directory varies server to server, means which server you are using. I have taken the example of Apache web server. I have attached one screenshot here which is showing the default root directory of Apache web server in different platform, means in different operating system. So if you are using the Apache in Ubuntu, the root directory would be /var/www/html. You can change the path of the directory, path of the root directory as per your need. You can also keep this file in content delivery network like Akamai Cloudflare instead of keeping it in the server. So as per your need, you can choose where you need to keep the robots.txt. After the few slides, we will see how to put the robots.txt in the Apache web server. Now, how to find the robots.txt of particular domain or subdomain? Each domain can have own robots.txt. Even subdomain can also have the robots.txt of own. So to find the robots.txt of particular domain or subdomain, what you need to do, you just need to type the domain name /robots.txt. So for example, here you can see amazon.in/robots.txt or aws.amazon.com/robot.txt. So we discussed this robot.txt. So to find the robot.txt of any domain, you just need to put / and robots.txt and enter. So this is how you can find the robots.txt of any particular domain or subdomain. Let's talk about the structure of robots.txt. Robots.txt contains the multiple groups and the sitemaps. I have highlighted the groups in red in the attached screenshot. You can give the space between the group. It also contains the sitemaps. You can also give the space between sitemaps and the group. Group always start with user agent directive. You can see there are 4 groups in this screenshot, and each group is starting with user agent directive. So normally you will find group having more than 2 rules. For example, first group having the 2 rules, second group having the 4 rules, and last group having multiple rules. You can also add the comment. Before comment, you need to put the hash. You can avoid giving the space between sitemap, else the size of the file will increase. You can also avoid giving the space between rule or directive of particular group. In this screenshot, you can see sitemap at the bottom, but you can also put the sitemaps at the top. So what file will have? File will have the groups, the sitemaps. Each group can have multiple directives or rules. File can also have a comment which starts with the hash. Structure of the file is simple. Directives. As we already discussed, robots.txt contains multiple directives. Directives, also called rules or instruction, which need to be followed by the crawlers. What is the syntax of directive? If you need to write particular rule, so what you need to do, you need to give the directive name, colon, value of directive. Then you can give the comment by prefixing hash. So comment is optional. I have given the example of one rule. So you can see user agent colon gigabot. Gigabot is the bot name. And you can see the comment also, which is getting started with hash. So this is the simple syntax of rule. Now let's talk about the most commonly used directives. I have mentioned the list here. So let's see each directive one by one. First is user agent. User agent contains the name of the crawler or wildcard. Wildcard means star. Each group always starts with user agent directive. User agent helps crawler to know which group they need to follow. I have attached one screenshot from robots.txt, and you can see there are 2 groups present. One group for Google vote and another group for all other crawlers. So when Google vote will crawl the website or domain, it will follow the first rule. And if any other crawler crawl the website apart from Google vote, that will follow the second group. So this is the use of user agent. Just for the information, I have also mentioned few crawlers examples like Google Vote image, Google Vote news, Google Vote video. These all crawlers are from Google. Bing Vote, Baidu Spider, it is from Baidu search engine. Apart from these crawlers, there are number of other crawlers available. Next is allow directive. It contains the relative URL or directory of the website which can be crawled by the crawlers. So in the allow directive, we mention the relative path only, not the absolute path. In the example, you can see how you need to mention the path. Crawler will append this path in the domain name to get the complete URL. Suppose your domain name is example.com. So the complete URL would be example.com/test/test. I have attached one screenshot from robots.txt. It is one group, and this group is for Google Bot, as you can see in the user agent. When Google Bot will crawl the domain or website, it will be allowed to crawl this path, which is mentioned in the allow directive, the Alexa for business. So Google Bot will be able to crawl this path, Alexa for business. Next is disallow. It contains the relative path or directory of the website which cannot be crawled by the crawlers. So if in the disallow you mentioned only /, it means crawler will not able to crawl any page of your website. If you don't mention anything in the disallow, means the crawler will be allowed to crawl all the pages. If you mention some path in the disallow, means the crawler will not able to crawl that path. These are the different ways to use the disallow directive. I have attached one screenshot from robots.txt. It is showing one group. Here you can see disallow Alexa for business. So when Google Vote will crawl the website or domain, it will be disallowed to crawl this particular path, Alexa for Business. And apart from this Alexa for Business, Googlebot will able to crawl all other pages of the website. This is how the disallow directive works. Sitemap contains the full URL or absolute URL of the XML sitemap. This directive is independent of user. This directive is independent of the user agent. Means sitemaps will be used by all the crawlers, whichever crawl the website. The sitemap can be placed anywhere in the file. Recommended way is to place at the end of the file. Example, you can see how you need to mention sitemap : URL of XML sitemap. Next is craw-delay. This is used to set the delay between each new request to the website or domain. For example, if you mentioned crawl-delay 12, means it will tell crawler to wait for 12 seconds between each new request. So what it means, crawler will only be able to send maximum 5 crawl requests per minute. And the purpose of this crawl-delay is used to prevent the website from being overloaded by excessive requests from the bot. Those excessive requests can slow down your application or even crash your server. So this directive you can use to control the rate of the crawling. There are multiple search engines which do not follow this crawl-delay directive. Like Google even don't follow the crawl-delay directive. Baidu, Index, they just ignore it. There are few which follow this directive like Bing and Yahoo. If you want to set the crawl-delay for Google's crawler, you can do that in the Google Search Console. Next is widget time. It tells crawler about the time when crawling is allowed. This directive is used to avoid any excessive load from bots during peak hours of their business. In example, you can see how you need to mention. The time would be in the UTC. I have attached one screenshot from robots.txt where you can see how you can use widget time in the group. Googlebot is allowed to crawl the website between 4 AM to 8:45 AM UTC. Next directive is request rate. Some websites do not entertain bots trying to fetch multiple pages simultaneously. The request rate is normally used to limit this behavior. Means this directive is used to control the simultaneous access of the pages. In the example, you can see how you need to mention request rate : 1/10. So what it means is maximum rate is 1 page every 10 seconds. I have attached one screenshot from robots.txt where you can see request rate. So what it means is when Googlebot will only be allowed to crawl 1 page every 10 seconds. I have mentioned 2 questions for you. You can answer in the comment section. First is request rate 5/1 minute is equivalent to crawl delay of 12 seconds? Second is request rate 1/12 seconds is equivalent to crawl delay of 12 seconds? Now let's see how to create robots.txt file and how we can upload it in the server. There are multiple tools available to create the robots.txt, but the simplest option is to use the notepad like Windows Notepad or Notepad++, and we are going to use the Notepad++ to create the robots.txt. I have added the steps here to perform this task. So let's open the Notepad++ and create a file. I'm on the Notepad++. You need to create new file, and here you need to add the groups or the rules. Let's copy this. This is the one I already created. So here I have added these directive: user agent, disallow, widget time, and request rate. And if you want to add the comment, you can also add the comment. This is for Googlebot. So you can, as per your requirement, you can create more than one group. You can also add the sitemap here, sitemap : and here you need to give the XML sitemap full URL. So let's take this, for example, ex.com slash sitemap slash sitemap dot xml. So this is the sitemap URL. You can give more than one sitemaps as well. Once you are done with adding all the rules and the groups, you need to save this file. So let's save this file. And you need to name this file as robots.txt. The name of the file should be exactly same. It is case sensitive, so everything should be in small. Then save. One thing you also need to keep in mind, when you save this file, the encoding of the file should be UTF-8. So you can see at the right bottom, the encoding is UTF-8. So this file has been saved with the encoding UTF-8. Now let's upload the file in the server. So for the demo purpose, we are using the Apache web server. I have downloaded the Apache web server. As I already mentioned in previous slides, we upload the file in the root directory of the server or website. So first you should know where is the root directory of your server. I have downloaded this Apache web server. Here you can see I have unzipped this here. Let's go inside this Apache 24. You will have a folder called config. You will have one file called http.config. So you need to right click and click on edit. This is the configuration file of Apache, and this is very much important file. You need to scroll down. You will encounter this line. Define SRV root. Here you need to mention the server path. So here you can see I have mentioned this path. This is the location of my server. You can also see, let me show you. So this is the location of my server. And then you will have a win config. Document root. So here you can see this is the server location which we already set at the top, and then /st docs. So this is the root directory from where Apache server will pick the robots.txt. So we need to save the robots.txt in this folder, which is present in the server itself. So let's see the location of this. So we are inside the server directory Apache 24, and you will have a one folder called htdocs. So here you can see one folder. This. You need to move the file or paste the file in this folder. So let's do that. So this is our robots.txt. It is present somewhere else. So we can either drag from there, or you can again save as and save. So we have saved the file in the root directory of the server. So here you can see. So this is the step to upload the file in the Apache web server. Once you are done with the upload, you need to start your server and you need to access this particular robots.txt. So let's start our server. So you need to go to the bin of your server. Here you need to launch the CMD, and here you need to run httpd.exe. Let's and enter. Once this starts blinking, means your server is up and running. You can see my server is up and running. That's why it is giving the result. Now let's load the robots.txt. Click here, append robots.txt, enter. So you can see server has shown your file. So this is the file which we created. These are the steps to create the file and load the file in the server. You can also test your robots.txt by giving the URL of robots.txt in the Google Search Console. That we will see in some other videos when we will talk about the Google Search Console. Let's move further. Now, what is robots exclusion protocol, REP? So whenever we talk about the robots.txt, you will also hear this term, robots exclusion protocol or standard, REP. REP is a standard that regulates how robots or bot or spider crawl the web. Robots.txt implements the robots exclusion protocol. The robots exclusion protocol talks about the directives which we already discussed, like user agent, allow, disallow. It's talk about the syntax. It's talk about the robots.txt. Robots exclusion standard, also known as robots.txt. These are the few points about robots exclusion protocol. Here I have mentioned a few important points which you need to keep in mind. It is not guaranteed that particular web page which you block in the robots.txt will not be indexed. So it is recommended to use no index meta tag on the page itself to avoid indexing of that particular page. What is no index meta tag, that we will see in upcoming video. For now, just keep in mind this point. It is not necessary that every website will have a robots.txt, but it is recommended to have one robots.txt per website or per domain, so that you can control the crawler in terms of crawling rate, blocking the private or duplicate pages. If robots.txt is not present for a particular website or domain, the crawler will crawl all the pages of the website. Robots.txt file is publicly available or accessible file, so don't use it to hide confidential information. For example, there is a PDF which contains the customer information and you have put the PDF URL in the robots.txt. So you are blocking the crawler from crawling that PDF, but anyone who see that robots.txt can go and access the file in the browser. So such kind of information we should not put in the robots.txt. Root domain or subdomain uses the separate robots.txt files. Some spider or crawler may choose to ignore your robots.txt file. And this is more common with the malware crawler. You might have heard of this term, bad bot. So bad bot are the ones which do not follow any rule or protocol. They might ignore the robots.txt. The good bot always follow the robots.txt. Good bot like Google bot, Baidu spider, all these comes under the category of good bot. Robots.txt file can be used to exclude some PDFs, videos or images from crawling. Now question for you, what is the difference amongst robots.txt, meta robots and xrobots? These are the terms you will come across very often in the SEO. Robots.txt we already discussed. Now you need to find the difference between these. Let me know the answer in the comment section. If you have any doubt, you can also comment. That's all for this session. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.